YouTube? We back with another episode of the TrakWolf GodCast. I'm your boy TrakBeatz. Got my man Cheno Bliss over here in the building.
Hey, nah.
You know what I'm saying? We got a special guest in the building with us. Young Nay Nichelle is in here to show us some love. But before we get into her, you know what I'm saying, I want to shout out Dope Fashion, you know what I'm saying, for the work, the merch, you know what I'm saying. Y'all go check them out. I'm going to drop the links below, you know what I'm saying. All kind of dope fashion over there. Y'all can go shop through, you know what I'm saying. Much love, you know what I'm saying. We're going to get into Nate, you know what I'm saying. She got a little local merch on herself. You know what I'm saying? You wanna
Vinegar Hill, the brand. Shout outs to Vinegar Hill. Always make sure y'all go buy a shirt, hoodie. It's cold, hoodie season, cold jacket. Vinegar Hill.
That's what's good. That's what's good. We always showing love and support, man. Always 24/7. So, Nate, you wanna tell us a little bit about your journey, and we can go back. Let's start at like the Facebook time and like the viral moment, because I know we got a pretty long history, so we can give them a good starting point so we don't go too far back.
Got you. So yeah, back in 2016, yeah, that's when it was. Shit.
How did that happen?
Can we curse?
Yeah, you good.
Just making sure.
It's the GodCast. We keep everything.
You know
Everything is
like,
organic over here.
I be
you know
authentic, you know. I really do be authentic.
Yeah.
But back in 2016, man, like me and a friend was looking up Adele tickets, and I was like, damn, these shit's really like $500, $600, $700. Like, what the hell? And I remember seeing like a meme with that shit saying $800.
This her normal ticket price? Or was it because of where the event was at?
I think it's, well, eventually I found out that Ticketmaster bought out the tickets, the original ticket price.
And up the price.
And up the price on the So I kind I was like, I ain't know though, like I didn't know that. Like I thought that's what she was charging for.
I would have never thought that either, I feel you.
So I was like, dang, these joints really are expensive. And I needed 2 tickets. Well, like, she needed one, I needed one. So I'm like, dang, I'm thinking to myself, like, 2 tickets. That's like, you know what you can do with that joint? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, Adele, like, it really do make you stop and think, like, logically, like, wait a minute. $500, $800 for, like, to get a good seat, like, you was paying at least, like, 2 stacks and up. Like, even the $800 tickets was, like, it wasn't even close. Like,
damn, yeah.
It was, like, midway, so you barely, it was, like, nosebleeds. So I'm like,
so
damn.
they getting a good bag from people.
Because it's capitalism, man. You know what I'm saying? That joint is wild, yo. So, shit, you know, after that, I was like, man, we ain't about to go see no damn Adele. Like, niggas gonna be saying I love from the parking lot. And I remember I remembered it from a meme, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, shit. She was like, you should make a song. I was like, hell yeah, and ain't that shit hello from the parking lot. So I was just joking around. But man, the next day, I don't know where I was going at. That shit came on the radio.
So you was angry when you did it, or you was like in a fun spirit mood?
Nah, niggas was really high.
Alright.
I don't know where I was coming from, but I know I was going home. And like I had like been up here since June, so like the area was still kind of new to me, so I was still trying to figure out Charlottesville. Till this day, I'm still trying to figure out. Even though it's a big circle, like I still try to figure out, like, damn, like where this place at, where that place at. Yeah. Cause niggas be like this side of town. I'm like, yo, I need a landmark. Like, so, what is it close to?
So you did the video. That was the same day of the concert, or next day of the concert, or different? Nah,
she was coming to DC. I don't know when it was. I think it was maybe in like February-ish type joint.
Yeah. Maybe,
I want to say, or maybe later on in the year. It was probably a spring tour for real, but it wasn't like the next day. So
got you.
I just did it the next day for the simple fact that the shit came on the radio.
So what was it that took
like,
it off?
What a coincidence.
Who grabbed it for it to get the traction that it got to take off the way it did? Because you didn't Like
when I first posted that shit,
you didn't send it. You didn't pay to send it to
anywhere. I
ain't
sent that shit. I just posted it. I didn't think it would go viral. Like I just posted this shit, and Did it before I went to work. So niggas get off from work and I'm like, oh shit, I'm getting calls, your video going viral. And I'm like, what the fuck? So now I'm on Facebook looking like, oh shit. Like this shit really is going viral. Like damn, so I had to go back and replay that shit because I'm like, damn, that shit really funny because I ain't really thinking it was that funny. You know what I'm saying? Like I just had to fact check like that shit was really funny and I listened to that shit. I was like, damn, that shit low key is hard. Like
yeah.
Boom, the next morning, like, I got up at like 6 the next morning. This shit was so funny. My mom's was sending me, like, videos and articles from off of this. She Googled my name, and she sent me, like, all these different articles that had shared it.
So that's how you
And right after that, yeah, and then after that, I saw Chaos was tagged in it. And he grabbed it and posted it on his page, so it went from there too.
Crazy from there.
It went crazy. If I could go back into that time for real, you know what I'm saying, knowing what I know now,
you would have took more advantage of the situation.
Not just more advantage, but I wish I had all the knowledge that I had now then. Like that's why I'm grateful for knowing what I know now. So when these things do happen again, like when I do go viral, like I know how I need to move.
That's a test.
And that was like, yeah, like that's what that joint really taught me. Cause like, if you be honest, if you want me to be honest with you, like that's what everybody know me by. But that person don't even exist no more in that video. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like who that person is no longer exists, but it's a part of me that I took advantage of. Like I really took advantage of that experience. You know what I'm saying? I took advantage of it. Wasn't just the fact that shit, my video went viral and popping. It's the simple fact like dang, 5 years before that, like niggas was saying like I hope I have a video go viral. And when I moved up here and that shit really happened. I wasn't even up here for a year. And things just started like coming to me.
That was an acapella viral too.
Natural, authentic.
Yeah, there was no beat, no nothing playing.
Yeah, I did have an instrumental playing.
You had the instrumental playing from the car?
Yeah. Now I was in my bathroom. I sat in my car and played the instrumental for like...
You had redid it?
Yeah, but when I first...
So you did two versions.
I recorded one on the...
version in the bathroom.
Yeah, and I had the instrumental.
And then you did the other one in the at the actual parking lot, in the parking lot.
Yeah, I had a track. Actual track. I did a track to that joint.
Yeah.
So the first one was just authentic. Like, sat in my car and played the instrumental, and then I was high as a bitch, just writing down shit that was just coming to my head. I'm like, damn, this shit kind of go. And I went in my bathroom and did it, and then boom, here we are today. Like, I just wish I could go back into that time and made better decisions. And like, one thing I do try to encourage people when it comes to their journeys and when it comes to their dreams and shit, always have the control over that shit. Like, don't trust nobody to handle your shit for you. And when it comes to your business, like, don't depend on nobody for real, because like somebody that was close to me took away a lot of opportunities for me. Like, selfishness is like, it's such a thing where people don't know how to balance it. They don't know when it's necessary and when it's not. So like, people really do that shit out of spite. So you gotta learn in this whole thing, like when it comes to your dreams and shit, you gotta control that narrative.
Thanks.
You can't let nobody control that shit for you. You can't let nobody, you can't have faith. I'm not saying like don't trust people, like trust people, but you gotta have faith in yourself to know like when something don't feel right, move accordingly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
1,000%.
move accordingly. Don't talk, don't speak, don't show no emotions. Just keep playing your cards. Like, you gotta just have that mentality. You can't even be mad about it, because it's like everybody ain't a you, you know, like everybody not a you. So that's one thing I wish I could go back, and I encourage people who do go viral. Like, I love to see people go viral, because that is an experience, that is a moment. Like, to me, it's like, it's not even a thing that I get excited about. It's like, damn, another accomplishment. Like, you know, that's how I look at it now. Like, when my pictures went viral, I was like, damn, my video done went viral. Now niggas got pictures going viral. Like, what the hell? Like,
so you
tap in yourself.
Let me ask you this. When you first went viral from the Adele thing in the video, how did it affect you mentally, and how did it affect the way you moved? Like, how did you react?
like at first, I'm gonna be real, like
ego is jumping.
I won't even just say ego, like, but yeah, cause I was like, ooh, niggas finna be high, you know what I'm saying? Niggas finna be mad about this shit. Like, I really felt that because it was a lot of niggas who I could just feel that love me, but didn't want me to do better than them.
Yeah.
And it's like, dang, like, I've always been the type of person to always be happy for the next person. Like, I watched a chick I went to college with named Candace Glover. Like, I watched her journey of her become who she is today, a singer. Like, she went to American Idol 3 times, and on the 3rd time, like, I watched her on her 2 journeys. And, like, on the 2nd time, well, on her 3rd time going, like, she went out that joint and won. And I was like, damn, if that ain't a manifestation in itself, like, you constantly went 3 back to back, and you finally got your moment, and then you come back and win.
That's a big stage to step on.
Like, that was inspiring to me, like, and it was all self-made.
Is that what made you try?
Yup. She encouraged me, like, to do music. She's the reason why I even did music. She was like, you know, you should do YouTube videos, and this was like almost, 10 years ago, you know? Literally almost 10 years ago. And I was like, word, I'm gonna do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. So when that shit happened in 2016, after like, it was 5-6 years ago before then, when it really happened for me, like, I remember my mom telling me have a backup plan, and I really felt like I ain't needed that. I always felt like,
I got this.
I got this shit. Like, I believe in me. But when you got people, you really gotta be aware of the energy around you.
Yeah.
And that's something that it taught me. Like, know your energy,
times.
know who you are, always work on yourself, always do your shadow work, go through what you go through, but don't waste time, because some real shit, that shit really showed me, like, it could take you to a dark place. It really can. Like,
when you say it can, what do you mean by that?
The moment.
Yeah, okay.
Can take a lot. Your ego can take you to, and I wouldn't even just say your ego, but people's ego because of your ego.
Yeah.
Like, niggas don't want you to have a moment.
Or some people,
that's why I try to stay so humble.
Some people try to ride your wave instead of taking your moment.
Yeah, it's like you just...
Did you get more people reaching out like, now I want to collab? Like, you want to do some work?
Yeah,
you want to do
real
some work?
shit. Yeah. Well, actually, nobody knew at the time who I was, but niggas was doing that. Like, once they found me.
How did you feel, and how was you feeling when you received that blue check?
Man, for real, I really don't fucking know. Like,
did you
I didn't know it was
or was it? Did it just you woke up and it was there?
Honestly, like, I really don't think that I did. I think, like, how it happened, I just know I was in Target with a friend. We was in there and I just got this notification that your account's been verified. And I was like, what the fuck?
You had a lot of traction, a lot of activities.
So I went to go see what page,
thousands of followers.
So I went to go see what page it was, and it was actually my Nay Nichelle page, and I was like, whoa. You know, like, that's big, like, what the fuck? But then I didn't also know that they verified my actual account too. So I was like, damn.
How many followers did you have?
Shit. On my actual profile was like 10,000 people, including them, so about 15,000 people.
And on your other page?
It was at like, at that time, it was like around 50,000, 60,000 people. And then it gradually grew over time, like, gradually. So when I got that, I was like, bruh, and there's gonna not be another Nay Nichelle ever again.
Yeah.
With that shit. So, like, that shit made me feel real good, for real. Like, but in a moment, like, it was just like a grateful moment, for real. Like, I was so happy. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I was very, very happy. Like, that was like an accomplishment for me. Like,
definitely.
It really humbled me too in a lot of ways. It's like, cause during that time I was going through a lot of shit, and it's like, damn, see, you really out here victimizing yourself. to blind you from the shit you can really fucking do. Like, no matter how much I went through my shit, I always had these things that just happen out the blue randomly for whatever reason. I don't know why, but now I understand why they happened. It was to remind me, like, you cannot stay in this state too long because you have the ability to do this. It's like I had to see the potential within myself.
Yeah.
So, and that's why with me now being in that mindset where I see my potential and I'm aware of myself and like I know who I am and my purpose. That whole looking at that experience, I just be like, damn, people really don't understand how that shit, to me, I'm not gonna say it don't mean shit, I appreciate it, but that shit made me literally not who I am, but what I am. Like, I would never have been in this mindset if it wasn't for that opportunity, because it really showed me like, damn, one, you be arguing on the fucking internet with niggas you don't even fucking know that's on your shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's over 10,000 you niggas on this shit. I don't know y'all niggas. Y'all don't know me. So it's like...
So these are like recent arguments or more like when you started? Like,
when I first started, when it first started out, like, that's why I said that shit, that experience could be a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, like you get the...
For real, like...
The wild inboxes and kill yourself messages and shit like that. They be saying the wildest shit on your inboxes.
Like, niggas was really inboxing me saying shit like, well, if you save money, you can save money on tickets if you stop putting money towards weed. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, like, because I had on a hoodie that said, just hit it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, like, nigga, who the fuck is going to spend $500 for some Adele tickets when I can get $500 worth of weed?
Yeah,
like,
that don't even make sense.
that shit, like, what? You
That
know what
don't
I can
even
get with
make
$500 worth of weed? Some good money, like, for $500 for a ticket, that's some good fucking weed I can smoke on.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Why the hell would I put money towards something like that when I can have this? People don't logically break down things, and I feel like that moment too really kind of like, I always try to, like, when I do my journey, I try to do it in a way to where I always appreciate my wrongs and just hold myself fucking accountable, because it do kind of like give you clarity.
Yeah.
It help you understand this is why this is happening like this, so this is why these things are happening. You're doing this, which causes this to happen. It's like a source for everything.
Yeah.
And once you start figuring that out, it's like, okay, now you know better. You got to do better at making better decisions. And that moment showed me a lot of that. Like, it showed me who I was as a dark person. And, like, seeing that dark side of me, it's like, hell nah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
You felt like that almost pulled you in deeper on the dark side?
yeah, like, because I could really be I'm the most nice person you'll ever meet. But goddamn, when you cross me, because I don't be bothering nobody, man. I've always had good intentions, like, and it's just, most of my intent has been trauma responses. So, you know, like, I don't go in with the intent to hurt anybody, but I always go in with the intent to be self-aware of who I am and also to be conscious of people when they are around me. So when I'm working on myself, I know what behaviors I don't want to be of. So if I can identify it in another person,
Yes.
once I identify that, it's like, okay, I have to protect my energy around you because I don't want to be like this. That's why you got to be aware, and when moments when you go viral, don't let people get close to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, people gonna look at that shit like you trying to be better and you think you better, but that ain't what it is. Like, don't just let people get in close to you, because, like, when I said it could take you to a dark place, like, I don't matter how many blue checks you get, I don't care how much money you making from this shit, I don't give a fuck. Do not let people get close to you, man, because you don't know people's intent. You only know yours, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta protect you, and that experience showed me
That's
that.
because it's not like, it hasn't been enough genuine people being pushed to the forefront, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of weird shit, so we have to, like we were saying on one of the episodes, we gotta do shit backwards, you know what I'm saying? Like, we should all naturally trust each other, but now you have to prove to me that I can trust you, you know what I'm saying? So it's a different process with that. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about like when people go through those kind of situations and then they don't manage it in an anger or like in an uplifting manner, and they get more in like a depressed state?
That part. Say that one more time.
How do you feel, or what kind of advice
spot,
would you give to people who like would experience that and wouldn't manage it the right way and go in a depressed state, or maybe just people going through everyday life, you know what I'm saying, that's not taking the upward route, you know what I'm saying, and they falling back downwards, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think most of my depressed state went, because I've experienced that. I feel like most of it came because a moment I worked so hard for was just ripped from me in a lot of ways. People didn't know behind the scenes. I was going through a really fucked up time that people don't know about that was behind the scenes. I was literally 24 years old at the time, like making decisions that I had to like literally sent me on a journey. Like, I'm 6.5 hours away from home. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I ain't from here. So, I don't have family here. Mm-hmm. I don't have that auntie I could just go ride to that's 15 minutes up the road or down the street or on the other side of town. Like, my people's is back in South Carolina.
Yeah.
So, learning how coping mechanisms, it's like that part I really was trying to avoid shadow work and darkness. I was afraid of my dark side. Instead of taking like my depression as a positive, I let so much negative shit just weigh me down, and then I had to stop and think like, dang, like everything that I'm doing is a trauma response. And I literally kind of like did that. I just took the initiative to start therapy. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, I just got a therapist. There's somebody that can give me clarity that's on the outside, listening to what I'm saying and helping me understand what I'm also saying, so I can be aware of myself, so I can know what's going on with myself. Like, I had to get to that point. I'm gonna be real, like that dark space took me through a lot. Like, I wasted so much time victimizing myself. I mean, I really did. Like, I'm not even gonna be here and sugarcoat that shit, man. I'm gonna just be real. I victimized myself. We human. We all do that shit, you know, because once you get into a dark place, you have to learn how to go through things. You have to work on shadow work to understand, like, growing is important. It's okay to be wrong, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so like, I too have been depressed too. So like, I know for a lot of people, it used to put me in a vulnerable state to even talk about it to myself, and let alone in front of people. But what are some things, because some people may not know, what is shadow work to you?
So honestly, shadow work is kind of like mirror work, you know. And I like to tell people, like, during this time, if you think about it, during the autumn equinox, you're going into shorter days and longer nights, whereas we're going to have more darkness than we are light.
Yes. And
around this time, people think 2020 has been a ride. You know, they ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the switch, the light switch just went off.
Yeah.
And now it's about to go up a notch. And that's what people are afraid of, facing the shadows and darkness. Because now you're no longer going to be able to see your shadow. You got shorter days, time of the day to see you in your light, or who you are portraying yourself to be. But then your darkness is who you really are.
Yes.
And people are afraid to go and I mean, I get it, because I always try to think like I'm a human before anything. I get people, we all go through things differently. All of our experiences are different, but like we literally are the light sources, each other.
Yeah. And
the light for people. It's just people are so afraid. Trauma, people don't heal, so it's like when you're depressed, shadow work is so important. you have to appreciate the fucked up parts of you. Because, like, it be sometimes where I be like, damn, like, I really was a dickhead at one point in my life. Like, you know, like, I really was that villain at one point in my life.
I had that same self-reflect time.
You know what I'm saying? That's what shadow work is. Reflecting on yourself. And when you do that shit, now your light, people don't like to they don't like to switch their light bulbs. Like, niggas they want to stay in LED, the colors and shit. I mean, that's cool, because we all are different spectrums of, you know, of light. But your actual bulb in that motherfucker, how bright and how much watts are you willing to give it? And I feel like people limit their light bulbs, so when you ain't switching that shit out, sometimes our light bulbs go out.
Yeah.
So when it's time to switch that shit, you want to keep, you got the opportunity to either want to keep the same light bulb or go up a notch.
Yeah.
People limit their light. They limit how much knowledge they can know. They limit how much things they can experience, because conditioning, we've grown away. Like, we've been so detached from our spiritual being, like
who we are
and who we are as individuals. Like, people don't know how to balance masculine, feminine. And it's so crazy because...
And the invisible versus the physical.
Right. Metaphysical, all of that shit. You know, people don't... I'm seeing it now that people are learning how to slowly tap in, which makes me so freaking happy. Like, I love to see niggas tap in, bruh. Like, yes, keep going. Like, because you are now you starting your own journey of your own, like, your own way of learning things that some of us already know. But, like, now you see why it's so important, because it all, like, if we, even in history, like, that's why I love Lovecraft. That show alone brings, with the magic and all of that. That shit is real. People think manifestation is just like, oh my God, I wanted this and I worked so hard and I got it. Yeah, my dog, you work hard. But you could work 10 times you could work less harder if you recognize that the work isn't only just actually getting up going to work for it, but doing it internal
energy.
You know,
it's like,
is what gets what you want.
When we say internal energy, a short way of looking at it is, it's like your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? If you can't take it any deeper, you know what I'm saying? But just take it as your thoughts, if that's as far as you can go, you know what I'm saying?
And that's
how much time and energy are you spending thinking about it and planning it and seeing yourself doing it? That's what it means when they say, you know what I'm saying, you going into the future, you know what I'm saying? When you literally sit down and you can see yourself doing everything that you envision yourself doing. And
being that person, you know, doing stuff with a purpose. It's like, with my video going viral, I honestly really didn't have no purpose, you know what I'm saying? And that moment made me realize that, like, damn, I got it now, so what's my purpose? Yeah. And once people don't question things, you know? People don't question things.
I got another question about this topic. So, when it comes to depression, did you notice on your own? Did someone else help you notice? And what steps did you take to lead to getting a therapist?
Yeah, so I guess I didn't want to accept the fact that, you know, because it's so taboo, you afraid to just be like, then you on a platform, so people holding you to a higher standard.
Yes.
And I feel like, even though that moment wasn't like sometimes I'll be real with you, that experience alone never wants me to be a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be...
Was it almost like a sample taste so you could know that you know?
Yeah, it was literally like, this is a world, it literally shows you the magic or the things you could do with the power of things you like. My video going viral was like magic to me.
And how it took 5 years, once that's behind
over time, like, that was a magical moment for me. Like, oh, I actually did it. But then when I got it, I ain't had no purpose. So then now I have to go through the depressed stage.
That's kind of like what I was saying about the beat going viral, remember? I said I wanted to go viral, but I didn't have a direction for it. And the shit just happened, and now all these different artists used it, but I wasn't like, when you at that place and you working to get there, you're not really ready for it. But once it happens, then you start preparing yourself for it.
Yeah, because you see that you can actually do it.
Yeah. So now everything else you envision and focus your energy on, you know for sure what you can manifest. So you are very careful about what you solely focus your energy on. So like, even if it's some shit that you don't want to do, you know to hurry and get the fuck away from it. Like, not gonna spend too much time thinking about this and pondering this. Some weird shit about to happen.
Even with people you around, you can already you can get around people and be like, okay, I know I'm not gonna be around you for a long time. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like,
without question.
It's just like that. Energy is energy.
Energy is energy.
Like, energy is energy. So.
And we all vibrant. It's all frequency. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is. And that moment took me, I'm kind of grateful for it, but when I realized I was depressed, I was like, dang, like, I know we all hate being in bad spaces because we don't want to be judged and we don't want to be, you know, looked down on, and you also don't want, you know, people to really gaslight you either and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm feeling? You know, you feel what I'm saying? Because, like, people will literally gaslight you in your depressed mode. So you have to be aware of people who are around you, like people who know how to care for
Explain gaslighting for, you know.
So gaslighting is basically saying, like, my feelings aren't really there, they aren't really happening. It's basically saying things like you're over exaggerating, like those telling a person basically it's not that deep. Like, how you know you're not feeling it? That's not your experience. You can't tell somebody something that's not that deep.
Or saying something in front of you, you know they said it, but then you ask them again, and then they tell you they didn't say it, but you know that they said it.
They said it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's gaslighting a person, and that's kind of messed up to do people like that. You know, like, so sometimes we gaslight ourselves, if you want to be honest.
Yeah.
Because we so conditioned to it. So trying to get out of that space was hard, but it was all the choices that I wanted to make. It's like life just started changing. I'm gonna be real. 2016, I could give a timeline how this shit went. 2016, my video go viral. Boom. Next thing you know, my mom's kicked me out at 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't got nowhere to go, and I'm 6.5 hours away from home. Now I really got to figure out life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm weighing out my options. Yeah. That's all in 2016 while my video is going viral.
Yeah.
Trying to not show people what I'm really going through, and it's like
just working.
People was just not understanding. Like, they weren't understanding. Like, yo, this nigga needs some guidance. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
yes. People
just want to gaslight you and tell you, like, nobody wants to tell you what you feeling is valid because they don't feel it. That's why I always tell people your feelings are valid, you know? Like, your feelings are your feelings. They are my responsibility, you know?
Yeah.
To feel, experience, they are yours. But at the end of the day, we also have to be careful on how when people are depressed, you got to understand, like, some people just aren't. And working in mental health, I've learned so much on the back burner of it. Like, being on the inside of it now, seeing shit, it's like, yo, people really do battle things differently, bruh. Yeah. Like,
yes.
You have the choice whether you want to be able to help these people, or you have the choice of whether you want to distance yourself from these people. That's everybody's choices. But my choice is to, like, seeing this on the inside now, I have to be like, okay, we all go through things, yo. Like, we all, why should I be embarrassed about my shit? All because what people gonna think. We all going through the same, all of us going through shit. Everybody just carrying it differently for several different reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's this false image that we, you know, that they push out there that we, quote unquote, supposed to maintain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and people do put people who look like not on the inside, you know, outside people looking in, don't understand that part.
Yeah.
Like, people are holding you to a higher standard, and sometimes I'll be thinking, like, damn, this shit is a lot, because if it was somebody else, y'all niggas wouldn't be doing all of this shit.
Nah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's how it was for me, being somebody who ain't from here, and then, like, you got the group of people who think you know, oh, you think you this and that because you got this and that, and it's like, nah, you always saying this place is that place and that place, and Charlottesville is this and Charlottesville is that. My nigga, cause it is.
Yeah, it's the truth.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. It's
like, this
truth.
is what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Y'all don't see this shit like this. Nobody really out here. Like, I love supporting niggas, bro. I support anybody. I don't care who it is. I'm happy for anybody. Anything. Like, I'm not gonna be upset about the next person's success. Like, I done did too much to be that greedy.
Yeah.
And self-centered to be like, okay, honestly, I love being behind the damn scenes. I feel like I can have so much more fun. I can authentically be myself and people not understand me, and I don't gotta worry about arguing them, because it's like, you don't know who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And not being from here played a lot in that role too. You know what I'm saying? Like, people around here really do have and it's because they're only limited to certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
They only see things one way. This place is culture shock to me. I don't come from this type of, I mean, it's kind of the same in ways with the ways of thinking, because, you know, people back home, I always try to encourage them. If you have the opportunity to leave home, leave. Go see someplace else. Go exist in another place.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a visit for a little while.
Facts.
Yeah.
Go. If you got the chance to do it, go, because you have to see different worlds. You gotta open your mind. And I feel like I realized that's what I was doing when my video first went viral. Like, I gotta open my mind now.
Yeah.
I have to do this in a way where I have to authentically be me, because people back home don't know the experience I have here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't know what Charlottesville is. You know what I'm saying?
What they see.
They only know what they
them.
see and what I give them. And it's like, it's the same with Charlottesville.
Yes.
Charlottesville don't know my home. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They don't know shit about where I'm from, because if they did, they will understand it's two different worlds. The same things exist, but we all have this mentality of a crab, that crab in the bucket mentality.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Y'all gotta go out and move.
And
move around,
life a little
experience.
bit.
Stop limiting yourself, man. Like, everything is really a choice in how we do it. And I'm not, like, Lupita made a comment, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but the chick off of Us.
Mm-hmm.
In Black Panther. She was, Lupita made, when Chadwick died, she made this comment about how his death showed her, like, you know, take your time, but don't waste time.
Mm-hmm.
And how you know what I'm saying?
That's a good one.
How I process that is different from a lot of people who don't have the same vision that I have, because they are limiting themselves in places.
Or the same thought process.
Same thought process. They're limiting that. And a lot of times depression does shadow us from that. And sometimes it doesn't. It shows us, but for some people it's just so much harder for them to get out of those places. So when I get to, now that I'm where I am now, I'm never going to tell nobody how to go through their depression. But I'm not going to, like, I'm going to keep it real and authentic from what I went through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to tell you, take your time, but don't waste time. Is what I'm going to tell you, because we waste a lot of time in our deepest places because we are so afraid. I think people's biggest thing is how other people are going to react.
Of course.
Yeah.
Fear is the number one thing that blocks us from so many opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
But fear is the number one thing that the system uses as well.
Well, too.
Keep us, like, enslaved.
And conditioned to that kind of way of
yeah.
conditioning of fearing to thrive. Like,
Yep.
I'm happy in my manifestations. I'm thriving in them joints right now. Like, that's why it's hard for me when I see things that people, like white people do that's so oppressing, and white supremacy that's just so oppressing. I just be like, man, you know what? Why do people always do that shit? And that's how I know it's a mind thing. It's just to get in your head. Why y'all doing that? Because, I mean, I'm going to be real with you. now, and I live, this place is a culture shock. I ain't never lived around a whole lot of white people, okay?
Yeah.
People back home don't know that this place is really white.
Really different.
It's really different. It's culture shocking. I come from a predominantly black area,
From New York,
so
and I said the same thing.
this joint is culture shock. Like, when I first, y'all don't understand, like, my experience in Charlottesville has been the most worst shit ever, but it's beautiful too at the end of the day.
Yeah, such a paradox.
It's beautiful too. It's like, literally, even when I leave, I'ma still leave out this bitch a butterfly. I am not gonna stay a caterpillar. You feel me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave out this bitch a butterfly even when I do leave. And I kind of like, now that I'm in the space that I'm in, my depression really helped me a lot. And because that helped, I had to find a purpose in my depression.
And the shadow work and the depression that you're talking about, I learned, I did therapy for about 3 years. And through that, I learned that I had to move from where I always grew up at, because that's the root of a lot of my trauma and a lot of my triggers.
Facts.
So I might just walk through the front door and I'm just remembering, I just see the front door and I'm remembering everything that happened associated with that front door that I don't think about in the foreground of my mind. And it's affecting everything else I'm doing. You know
right,
what I mean?
and you see a different world too, you know what I'm saying? Like,
different perspective,
a different perspective. And that's how it was for me. When I graduated from high school in 2010, I went to college that was like, I didn't even want to go to college for real. I just did it because my family wanted me to do it for real. But
yeah.
I mean, I like the experience. It was cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, an experience for me. I believe firmly in Beyonce's song, "School and Life is Everything to Me." Like,
Yeah.
you know, that song is deep. I'd rather school like life. I want to be taught the game of life, not the game of capitalism, the experiencing of, I mean, that's what being going viral, like, kind of taught me in the beginning. Like, the capitalism part on it is great. The marketing, great. But damn, like, that ain't more to it. Like, it kind of did show me, gave me a small preview of a bigger world of that.
Yeah.
So how was it the second time, or should I say, like, all right, before I get into the second time, like, explain a little bit about how you got into photography.
Well, so like I was saying earlier about the timeline, 2016, I go through I start my depressed journey, if you want to say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then a year after that, you know what I'm saying, I lose my job. Then a year after that, I get on probation. So it's like I got all these different years and some shit always going on, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's always some shit in the way. Like, what the fuck? Why am I being blocked? Why am I being taken in all these different routes? Why do I have to stop smoking weed? You know what I'm saying? Why is marijuana not legal? All of these things are going through my head during this time. Like, why should I have to, like... And that's why when it comes to the system and capitalism and shit, it's like, dang, these niggas really do control and dictate our lives with money.
Yeah.
Money really, money, we need that shit to live and survive in this
system.
In this system, like, we really do.
Outside the system, we don't need the money.
Right. Outside of this shit, like, for me, it's more of a journey. Like, I can literally have it all and still wouldn't give a fuck about having nothing.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Yeah.
It's not greed to me. Like, I don't want to abuse my powers. I don't want to abuse my healing. I don't want to abuse my process. I don't want to take advantage of moments that I went through. And I also don't want to go back into depths of darkness when I'm already going deeper.
Yes.
Into it. I'm still gradually breaking myself down, going through, finding those different parts of me.
Yeah. I
don't want people to, like, dim my light bulb or project any light to dim my light bulb, like with the darkness. that's why I try to stay around people who have light as well. That's why the people around you are so important. And that's that journey we're going viral, transitioning into now, going through all those different things to finally get a year. Like, I just took a break.
Yeah.
And just really was like, let me go out here and see what I can do with myself.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do? Made a plan. Like, I just made plans. I just wrote stuff down.
Yeah.
I want to go audition for The Voice, American Idol, anything. Try it, to say I did it. Boom. Started doing that. And then in the process of doing that, I'm thinking too, like, I'm not about to limit myself with what I can do right now because I got too much time on my hands. There's a lot of shit that I could be doing. So what else can I be doing with music?
Yeah.
Pictures. So I'm taking pictures on my phone and I'm like doing landscapes and joints. And I'm like, dang, I really take some nice pictures, you know? Really got the eye for this joint for real, for real. I always love taking pictures. My dad got my first digital camera. So it was like,
yeah.
I've always been into that creative side. That's what I found my purpose to be, creative. That's what the Hello from the Parking Lot did. Be creative. I was authentically myself. I wasn't dressed or appropriate for a viral video. Like, I had on a hoodie that said "Just Hit It," the Nike joint. My hair not retwisted. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, bruh. There's so many things about that moment that made me realize you gotta be careful what you put on the internet. You know?
Very, very, very.
But it's all a learning process. And a lot of people don't take their experiences that way when they go viral like that. How can this make me be more creative? Mm-hmm. And that's what that did for me when I just went and did it with myself. Like, photography, I can kill this shit. Got a camera. Started taking portraits.
What kind of portraits?
Like, you know, just regular portraits of people.
Okay, so you started off with people right away.
Yeah, like, I started off with people right away.
I know some people, when they get into it, they might start off with, like, nature photography. Or
well,
like
I did with my phone,
city.
but not with my camera.
Gotcha.
When I did with my phone, but not with the camera. But I did do with trying to learn how to work the camera, because people, when they started seeing me doing portrait pictures and shit, landscape pictures, they were like, can you do my pictures? So I'm like, dang, now I gotta learn portraits. So I'm like, yeah, come on, let me do it. Now I'm learning that. And then at this point, I'm like, I just don't want to limit my photography to portraits, landscapes. What else could I do with it? And then that's when I got into doing like different movements, documentations of different movements, because people encouraged me. They were like, come to a protest, bring your camera and take pictures, you can get pictures of it. So I'm like, word, for me, that was a practice moment. I'm going to take advantage of this moment, because I'm not going to think to go out there with my camera. I'm going to think to go out there as an activist. You feel me? So I'm thinking like, camera, let me grab my camera now. Let me be on the outside of it, because I need to practice. I need to learn. Okay. So now I got a camera. I'm learning shutter speed, aperture, all of these different things. And it's a good thing to document people in motion, because I was doing portraits. Everything was still.
Yeah.
I didn't have
a different game.
Yeah, I didn't have the challenge to catch your motion. So it was like, I would get nice pictures, then I'd be like, nah, that shit could be a little better. I gotta keep practicing. I gotta keep going to these things. And that's what I did. I was like, I'm gonna just go. But then when the George Floyd joint and Breonna Taylor incident happened this year, and the movements were just amplifying. Yeah. I was like, man, I done been in the house all fucking year. It seemed like I ain't have my camera out only but to do landscapes. Like, niggas still need to practice and shit. I gotta do work. Like, I need to learn. I'ma just go pull up. But at first, that wasn't my intent. The camera, it was the activist part. It was like, nah, I got to go out here and get in these streets. But then I'm thinking like, but I also need to learn.
I'm going to take the camera too.
So I'm going to take the camera just to be a photographer from now on at these protests. Even though because the chance be like lit, yo, that shit, you just feel the energy out there. Like, yeah. And that really helped me capture a lot of moments, man, where I'm like, dang, you could just feel the moment. So now that when I started doing that, I was like, okay, now I'm learning. So with that, people automatically threw me into a photojournalist, the journalist world. And I'm like, that's not what I am, but shit, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what you think I am, shoot, I feel like that's a good perception of me, because that's really not what I'm out here doing. I'm not out here being, I am.
It's a combination, because you was out there being vocal at first.
Yeah, in a way I am. And then I flipped it.
Yeah.
And then my protest wasn't vocal in a way of my voice, and now it's through photography.
Yeah.
And
that's my way of protesting now.
I've also learned too, the things that we do, just like perception, somebody else sees it another way. Like, all right, let's put this on paper, like on a resume. How we gonna say this in a better way?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna be like, okay, she's a photojournalist. Like, man, I just took some pictures. Like, no.
You're
a photojournalist.
This is what you go by now.
And then also now I'm like, shit.
You're like, okay, I like that.
That work. Yeah, I mean, I fit the description. You know
exactly.
What
I'm about to put this on my IG.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
But
I have I really am. I have a press pass.
Yes. No, it became legit.
Under a news station where I am literally a documented certified photojournalist and writer. No working cap, so that's why I'm like, shit.
Did you write as well too?
No, I was just taking pictures.
I think
they giving you extra credit.
Extra credit.
That's more incentive to do more work.
Because of my voice. Because of what I tweet.
Yes.
Because of what how I use my. I don't just do it with.
Because you do create like a little bit of controversy on social media when you decide to use your fingers.
Yeah.
Niggas don't be trying to be. I really don't be trying to be controversial. That's the thing. Like, people, I feel like in that perspective, in that way, because I ain't know no better, it could come off controversial. But now looking at it, it's like, nah, nigga, y'all niggas wasn't trying to grow. Okay?
Yeah.
Did you
y'all niggas
like
wasn't tapping in. You took that shit controversial because, nigga, I might have said it in a fucked up way, but I still meant what I said.
So are you not as controversy now?
I mean, a little bit.
It's more subtle. Like, you figured out how to use it now.
Don't give a fuck, man. Like,
it's like, that's not even the right.
I just don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not about to sit here, because people don't read people listen to respond and I understand.
Yeah.
They don't digest. Like, people really don't think you be listening to what they say because you say something that's real and they take it as, nah. They gaslight what you say. Like, nah, nigga, that's the reality of what you're saying.
That's why when some people ask me a question, it takes me a second because I just want to process it.
Yeah, I gotta
before I give a fast answer, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to bullshit you, so I want to at least be able to give you a genuine response.
Yeah, and that's how I've grown to be, but I feel like with doing shadow work, I know anger is one of my, like, I be ready to fight, okay? Fuck these Twitter fingers, Facebook fingers, niggas. Let's get in the streets.
We just had an episode talking about this shit here.
Yo, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's trauma.
We did. And it's a trauma response. It's trauma. Because it's like, now I'm ready to beat you up right now. Yeah. Like, that's when I realized, like, damn, I really got an anger problem. Like, niggas got
that's because we feel like when we know it, it's problem solved.
A lot of it comes from, like, the way we lived, and it's just like our reality is continuously refused, ignored, and also dictated by everybody but us.
Dismissed. It's always, like, we
don't get to make our own choices. It's almost like we know we have choices, but it's almost like immediate responses that's given to everything that happens. So if you don't take one of those immediate responses and you want to make your own conscious decision, everybody looking at you like, yo, what the fuck?
What's up?
What the fuck you think you are thinking for yourself? Like,
he's angry.
What's
he's
up?
vindictive. He's a domestic terrorist.
When
of these words,
get angry, you should respond like this. It's not written in a book for how you should respond when you under each emotion. You know what I'm saying? Because if you believe in the astrology and you know what I'm saying, everything that goes on in the signs, however far deep you can
physics,
take it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you already know. Like, every person is their own individual
person, So when a person get angry, like, that's self-control work. That's what I'm saying, like, when it comes to the controversy, like, I got tired of arguing with niggas on the book because it was just like, when y'all, like I said, now me seeing where I'm at now, it's like, y'all niggas not trying to grow, okay?
Yeah.
Y'all are stuck in this small mind, like, y'all are not trying to amplify your minds, gain all the knowledge and the wisdom that you can gain, get everything you can get, because everybody is so worried about the way the person is doing it. This way, that way, this way, that way. Then when you see people actually taking the initiative to follow their hearts and their journey and actually put in authentic. People don't want to be authentic. People don't want to say, okay, yeah, I'm good at what I do. But people don't also want to say, don't want to come out and be like, damn, I fuck up sometimes too. You know what I'm saying? People just want to keep an image. I'm not out here to keep, I'm not doing that shit no more. I'm not maintaining the image just to make other people comfortable.
Yeah.
Because we all go through the same shit. That's why to an extent, I get why celebrities don't feel entitled to a lot of things. I mean, you think about it, you get on the internet every day and it's a blog about you here, there, over here. Who the fuck want to see that shit every fucking day? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, your life.
People
and then you have us, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have us. And I mean, I'm guilty of it too. You know, I'm not going to even lie about it. You know, having our opinions on it, but it's just like, damn, why should we have, I feel like people idolize people too much.
I agree.
Because if you think about it, like, when you start to idolize, you want to become them. Like, I would love to become a Beyonce, you know what I'm saying? But not in that context.
Yes.
Not in that form. Like, I want to stay behind the scenes.
What I'm about to say, yeah, what would happen, because if music was to do that, you would be like a Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice, but I think about it sometimes. But you see
how the system feels about people who think and feel like Lauryn Hill. So, like,
it'll be hard for me to be.
But the good thing about it is now, like, she only got minimized because that's all we had was, like, TV. You know what I'm saying? Radio.
That era.
Now, if you were to do something like that and become a person in that position, it wouldn't be no way they'd be able to slow it down.
Nah, especially
without
doing
what they do to
person.
Everybody else. Swiping their ass the fuck up out of here. So.
And like being my own person too is important. That's why it's like I feel like Lauryn Hill was her own person. She was authentic. You know, she was really trying to grow. You can tell
she's still alive,
is.
So
yeah.
Stop saying was. She is.
It's a lot of. You can tell she's been through a lot of traumatic things too, to where she's trying to find her way, her guidance. You know, even her daughter is speaking out about it. You know, so her daughter is speaking about her own trauma from her experience with her mom and her dad. It's like you can tell, like, Lauryn has always been that gem for us. It's just systematic shit.
Yeah.
Held her down from giving us all of that shit.
The box is bigger than the individuals who haven't really figured out a way to fully, like, come together. You know what I'm saying? You got this big ass robot over here, and then you got all these Power Rangers, and we trying to figure out how to get all the Power Rangers together to morph into the Mighty Morph, you know what I'm saying? So right now it's still a bunch of Power Rangers coming together, you know what I'm saying? But
and that's really what it is. And then I do kind of like take public figures and celebrities' lives and try to, like, to an extent, compare it to the levels of success that I've went through with people, you know, on my platform and stuff like that. I've also tried to, like, that's what kind of, like, to make me not want to really have that world, the full world of that. Like, tapping into it here and here is cool, but that's nothing that I really feel that I could spiritually tap into specifically, because it would drain my energy.
Yeah.
It would drain my energy.
To operate now until the system is down, it's like we have to get to a place to where you get there and then
you're able to do it.
You can do it, and then you can bounce
away you can
from
balance,
it. Like you have access.
That's why I just
like
tap into
basically
it.
having access to it, but you don't have to be in it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's how it kind of is with me. Like, I just tap into it. Like, when my authentic self, I don't know, I'm very authentic, you know what I'm saying, because I am a human. And a lot of times, like, people today, they'll walk up to me and say things, man, you only be, because people really don't know, especially outsiders, they don't know that I just started doing photography almost 2 years ago in February of 2021. So I'm not experienced at all in any of the things that I do. But because
I feel like it's the amount of energy.
I'm willing to, and how much energy I'm willing to put into it as well. I really don't want to just be like, oh, pick up a camera and just take pictures because I can make some money off it. Nah, I want to have a purpose. I create beautiful art.
Some people do that, and they've been doing it for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And that's why it takes them longer, and why it's easier for people who think like us, and why it was easy for you to step in and look, you got professional quality photos right here. You know what I'm saying? This shit look like somebody who was doing this shit 15 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to give it to somebody who's been doing it 15, 20 years so they can actually look at it to critique it. But when you look at the quality, that's what you're going to think.
Exactly. When you look at the quality, that's literally what you're going to think. You're not, and it's true. Like, at first, I didn't feel that way though. Like, I didn't feel like because I was learning, and I put a lot of my energy once I got into photography and I transitioned, because I kind of really got writer's block. Like, I couldn't write music how I wanted to. Trying to find a vibe, like, within the music I want to give too, you know what I'm saying, and the sound, like, all of that matters to me. That's what artistry is to me. It's not just getting, oh, this shit sound good. Yeah, the shit could sound good, but what could you do with it? You know what I'm saying? How could you benefit the beat? How could you produce something with a good vibe? All of that stuff I take into my artistry and my creativity is like a purpose behind it. So I got writer's block, and I kind of really did have no other choice but to find out something that I want. I was like, what do I want to make a career in? And artistry is something that I feel like that's what I want to do. Music and photography, like, I feel like that's me all because I can give so much of myself through that. That's why when I tell people, taking pictures to me is more than just picking up a camera and taking the picture. It's like actually seeing something and capturing the shot. Like, sometimes I look at my pictures and I'll be like, oh my God, bro, that is a perfect shot. How did I do that? You know, how did I see that? One of the pictures that I even got in the protest is of the dude that's on the ground literally meditating. Like, he's literally Indian style, black dude with locks, at the police precincts in Richmond. I didn't see him at first. One of my friends came and grabbed me and was like, you need to come get this picture. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Let's go. And she shows me this guy, literally, I'm on the front of the line. The police officers right in front of us. Because I'm going to be real, I stay on the front lines of the protest. Those be the best shots. I'm going to be real.
Yeah.
Those be the best shots.
When you see your work, you definitely see you on the front line.
Like, you know, those moments, because to me, it's empowering in a lot of ways that people don't understand, because that's literally what is we the people. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We the people. You feel me? Like, how y'all gonna tell us this our shit, but then gonna control how we use it?
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
how could y'all do, like, and that's what this whole thing has shown me. So when I'm capturing these pictures, it's like, I love to get that moment. And when I saw that dude literally praying, I don't know if he was praying or even meditating, whatever he was doing. Let's just put it like that. He was in position of a moment where he was tapping in.
Yeah.
And literally the lighting, that it was nighttime. He's on the ground. I have to get down. Like, people are all in the way. I had to tell people move because I didn't know when he was going to stop, and I finally got a perfect shot. And when I went to go edit that picture, the light itself, the natural lighting of it was perfect, because I didn't have to like add color. I didn't have to turn the vibrant up but a little bit. That green reflecting on him gave me that Ogun vibe, that Ogun power vibe. You know, like, warrior.
Yeah.
Like, in the middle of this, we have a spiritual warrior out here right now, fighting, tapping in, not yelling. When I tell you that made me feel like that shot was like the perfect shot, every time I see that picture, I'm just like, damn, we need more people to tap in that way.
Yes.
We need more of this, because this is literally what it is. Like, I could walk around and say fuck 12 all day long, but I'm tapping in to it as well. Like, I'm not just saying it. And I feel like with the photography and the shots that I've gotten on the front lines with this, it wasn't just a moment that has advanced my career, but it is really a moment that really showed me, like, man, I had a purpose behind everything I did. My intent behind everything I did was genuine. My intent was good. I found another way of protesting when having to be vocal or controversial. Look, it's in my pictures.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, and the exhibit at 2nd Street, gallery. Show me that.
Do it make you feel more powerful being out there and just like, since you don't have to be vocal, you can just kind of
it's like a different form of magic.
For your
it's a different form
shots.
of magic. It's like silencing for me. It's like silencing
a weapon,
myself,
but not a weapon.
Yeah.
So
because I know at any point I can use my voice.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do now as a person is to balance. Mm-hmm. Honestly, no voice is what I'm aiming for.
Yeah,
that's my goal,
you want
man.
people
no
to see
voice.
you and know what you represent,
and keep it moving. Yeah. And like, no voice is what I'm aiming for, because when I take these other people who are on platforms, when I tap in, I see people like J. Cole, one of the most talented rappers out here, man. He get nominated for all these good awards, and it's like, this nigga never wins. But look at the people who listen to him. You know, when I had to realize everything isn't about...
The system created those awards.
Yeah, it's like white supremacy have us so attached to things.
The people didn't make those, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like, even if you take like a famous celebrity like 50 Cent or somebody, like, he could create something like that, you know what I'm saying? But it's the system who made it. Yeah. He's still a part of it, but it's even more disgenuine, you know what I'm saying, coming from them.
A lot of shit we see does come from a form of conditioning.
Yeah.
Everything is conditioning. Almost everything is because of conditioning. And I feel like people are afraid to tap in, because I try to think too, like, these people still human beings. Like, they want to be treated a certain way too, and I get that. I feel like the money thing is a thing. Like, I don't want to be in a world where people, it's like with J. Cole, like, yeah, we know he got all of this money, but look how he's still living his authentic life. Like, this nigga's talking about retiring from rap, and I'm so happy for him. Like, people are upset, but I'm happy for him. He is transitioning into it. It's like me.
He probably been doing like way more shit behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying? But to the public, he gotta put it out there. Like,
I mean, and to Nay's point, with her writer's block, I mean, when I finished therapy, man, it was way harder for me to write.
Yeah, me too.
And I realized it's because most rap music that is publicized and like glorified is just dark energy, bro. It's just money. I fucked your bitch. I'm better than you. I can get your nigga pay my bills. Just play this nigga, play this bitch. Like, all of that shit, bro. Like, all of it is that.
The baby slayer.
Yeah, I'm no different.
Really
that's why. And you haven't heard a song since Baby Slap.
Yeah.
Like, you get what I'm saying? I'm singing that. I'm about to start singing. I'm singing because I'm happy.
I'm gonna be real with you. You know what's so crazy that you said that? Like, the context of how you just gave that perspective of how, if you notice it, a lot of rappers and a lot of people, even if you listen to like any artist, like R&B singers, they portray a lot of trauma in their music.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Come back, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to. I'm gonna do better, I'm gonna be better. Like, all of that shit is dark, bro.
It is so fucking dark, and it doesn't teach us self-love. So now, I'm guilty of that too, being in that mindset when I was younger, not knowing better. Like, being in that mindset. I did an article with Seville Weekly like 2 years ago, maybe. And it was about my music and my music journey and the Dell joint and all of that. And like the same things y'all basically asking me to a point. And it was so crazy because in that article I said I feel like people who have big platforms should be using it only for positive purposes. Mm-hmm. Because why would you want to create more trauma?
Yes.
Just said this on another episode. Like, once you start, it's nothing wrong with doing music because you love to do it and that's what you like to do.
But you gotta be careful.
But once you get into that position and you know what I'm saying, like, and you become an idol and people start idolizing you, you know what I'm saying, you hold a big responsibility of the knowledge you feeding people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you chose to be in that position. So if that comes with the bag, then, and you choose to be in that position, then you should be putting out that knowledge, you know what I'm saying? You should be informing people more.
I agree.
I definitely agree. We gotta be teaching, because I feel like we aren't really taught that. We just see media, and that's why I'm actually grateful that I got thrown into the photojournalist world too, because it showed me how manipulative media is. I tell people all the time, it's a lot of systematic injustice in photography. Like, you look in the media, most photographers who's giving these pictures to media outlets who are getting paid to do these things, go out and do these jobs, are white people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have these people, they're carrying the narrative. Versus, you know, like I was saying earlier about the 2nd Street exhibit, the photo gallery downtown at the
that's why we need a black news outlet to do the same thing,
the
vice
same
versa,
thing.
so that way
2nd Street did a whole joint.
People gotta find one of the YouTuber ones and do that. You know what I'm saying?
And there are a lot of people, because of the pandemic and the virtual, photographers are trying to get creative in the way that they display their art now. And it's through a lot of exhibits. It's through creating their own, you know, their own platform, and not only that, just their series of photos, like you know, series and photo shoots of ideas of bringing things to life to portray their art. And I feel like with the 2nd Street exhibit, when they brought all the black photographers together, and literally in that exhibit, it holds this, and it's by Live Arts. It's until the 14th too. If y'all want to go see tickets, it's free. It's until November 14th. But it's all of black photographers who are documenting the movements that they've been to, and a lot of them are in Richmond, and a lot of them are in Charlottesville. I saw different photographers, what they saw behind their lens, and how they captured different moments. And that really made me realize, like, dang, we control that narrative.
Okay, so you are a photographer. When you say what they see behind their lens, what do you mean by that?
Like, there are photographers too, but not just behind my lens, not just my work is in there, what I see.
Okay.
And I have a camera, but they have a camera too. So seeing what they see behind their lens.
Okay, I get
versus what I see and how they shoot it.
These are my eyes. These are my eyes angles right here.
Yeah.
From this right here, this is my eyes.
It was
right
beautiful.
Here, angles from right here. So
we also creative.
That's your eye right there. You know what I'm saying? Those. It's an eye. We're gonna say that those are your eyes.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know.
And a lens, a camera is literally like your eyes, what you see.
Yeah.
That's all it really is. And
but the good thing and the down thing of it is like sometimes it almost take away from being in the moment if that's something you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Because it almost makes it hard to focus more on. That's where it becomes a challenge. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're doing videography or photography, where it gets a little tricky. You know what I'm saying? Especially situations like that. Like those was kind of subtle, but if it really started going crazy, it would have been probably a little bit more harder to focus.
True. I mean, and it is like it do challenge you in a lot of ways to like bring out. That's why I love it for real. Photography challenges me because I don't know a lot. Like that's why I tell people, like when I go to protests, I'm not out there just I'm an activist, but it's like I know when to tap into different places.
Yeah.
I've learned how to master that. I know when to be and when not to be.
Yeah.
Some things I'm still working on, trying not to be more involved in and less on the opposite side, specifically so I can get clarity.
Yeah.
To see what's going on, to know what's going on, to understand why this is going on, to know what I need to do to produce authentic work.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it's hard for me to be around people who don't have that genuine energy. Like, I'm a very genuine person. My intentions are never, not pure. Always, I'm not really trying to be controversial or nothing like that. It's like, I feel like because I come from someplace different, I'm not going to only limit myself to Charlottesville.
Yeah, I can see what
y'all can't make me think the way, like, that's how I tell people, y'all can't make me think this way because I came from this sort of. Like, when I graduated from high school in 2010, I left.
Yeah.
I ain't went back to 2015.
Yeah.
And even when I went back in 2015, I stayed until June. And after June, I stayed on for from January to June. And after that, I was here. And I ain't been back since. I've literally been on a journey. It's how the choices you make. And I fear a lot of times, I fear of failing. That's my biggest fear. Is I found a purpose in everything that I do. And now that I know who I am genuinely and authentically, who I am, what I'm supposed to do, why I'm here, going through depressed stages and not wanting to be here, it's like I realize, like, I'm here for a reason and I gotta figure it out. And honestly, it's really to find something in a very, I feel like this is hell to me. And this world we live in is so much, it's just so deep. Like, it's so much hell to it. It's depths to this world, spiritually in a lot of ways. And it's like, I want to live an infinite life. You feel me? Like, I want immortality in a good way, in a pure way, to where when I'm not here, I'm still here. You know, when I am going, like, it's kind of like the legendary mindset, but I don't want to, like, categorize that as that.
Yeah.
I want to still exist while not existing. And that means leaving different things, and that's why art is so important to me. In everything that I do. Everybody know I sing. You know, if you ask a person how they know me, what they gonna tell you?
Same.
I do music. And now they'll tell you I do pictures. It's all in the way that I'm learning how to carry these things, because I feel like at some point in life, I'm going to get to a platform of highness to where I'm going to have to be able to learn. That's why I'm trying to learn it now. So when I get there,
you're ready.
I'm ready for it. And that's what I'm preparing myself for, what I already see and envision myself to be.
Yes.
But going through the humbleness, doing the shadow work, accepting being depressed, accepting that sometimes I'm the villain in people's lives. I do fuck up sometimes. Getting my karma back. Dealing with all of that shit. I'm trying to tell you, it sounds like it's hard, but when you understand darkness, it becomes so easy. Because I sit to myself sometimes and be like, damn, I was a dick. Like, you feel me? Like, and people who don't really do that, like, I feel like loving yourself is important. Because that helps you manifest. Like, yeah, I can get up every day and go work my ass off to get the money that I need to get what I need to survive. I can do that. But can I do that internally too?
Yes.
Can I get up every day and take on different challenges and be like, okay, I'm being tested?
I think what you said was an excellent point. Like, that's the hard part for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? That comes with, like, once again, like, having security. You know what I'm saying? People feel more secure within the system, you know, when you can gain that security within yourself and you don't feel like you need to hold on to the system for every move.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how it feels. It's almost like a shock, like, not just being physically enslaved or mentally enslaved. Well, yeah, mentally enslaved, but it's like coming out of your mental shackles.
Yeah.
Your spiritual shackles.
Yes.
We're so disconnected from our spiritual beings because of systematic white supremacy and racism. So it's like, because I'm aware of that too, I know all of this. And for me, it's, y'all, sometimes people be like, you think you know a lot. And it's like, I do know a lot because I read, you know, you feel me? But I don't know everything.
Yeah.
I'm still learning, like, because I choose to do these things. I have a choice. I don't feel like I have to depend on somebody to teach me. I don't feel like I should have to wait for somebody to show me this. You know, my grandmother is a preacher. And I remember growing up in church. I'm not very religious no more like I grew up to be. I never was really into that shit. It was kind of like really forced an escape for me in ways that people just don't understand. Like, that was my only outlet, church. Because my grandmother was my safe space. So I really wasn't into that shit. That's just really all I had. But coming out of it, when I moved home, I knew, like, I can go and have anywhere I want, and I create. And that's what I've been doing since 2010. Envisioning myself here and making it happen. I just feel like I wasted time not doing the work internally. I felt like I just had to get up every morning and go to a job, make that bread, go get what I want, and I'm good. And then people, when you see celebrities commit suicide, you realize, like, shit, it don't matter how much money you got.
Yeah.
That shit, everything is within. So I can be rich as fuck or poor as hell. I'm going to get most of my wealth internally. Like, because that's what's going to help me survive through both situations.
So how do you think people could get to that space to where they can learn and know themselves eternally without there being some chaotic situation created? Like, that's because I know, like, for most of us, that's usually how we get to that point. You know what I'm saying? It's like, some traumatic situation that had to fucking happen in our worlds, you know what I'm saying, for us to get to that point. But what would be something like, or an idea or a technique, you know what I'm saying, or some anything or advice like that would be helpful, like as far as like handling that kind of situation without having to put yourself in that situation?
Like for me, I feel like mine, like a lot of people ask me, or they tell me I'm so strong and I'm a very strong person, and I just be like, that's what I come off to be to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you assume. Yeah, I'm strong. I know that. But I also know that I'm a human being. So I had to take that and realize that, you know, people think that strong people don't need strong people. Strong people need people too. You know?
And stronger people sometimes.
Yeah,
so,
they need.
Mm-hmm.
We all, I feel like humbleness is something that really kind of made me start the process of the question that you just asked, of figuring out ways, because that's what you have to do.
Yeah. You
have to figure out ways to figure out why are you like this, and don't be afraid to question yourself. Don't be afraid to ask why am I this way. Find somebody that you're safe with. Find somebody that you can entrust. Find somebody that will give you the truth and clarity. Find someone that is going to like allow you space to be yourself without judging you. You really need those people, and people will look at it in a way as like, oh, you just trying to make them feel comfortable. You want people to feel comfortable when they're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Your job is to help them be comfortable.
Yeah. That's
they're uncomfortable right now. You know what I'm saying?
Uncomfortable.
And I feel like my sense in that way is I had to stop giving that to people and start giving that to myself and saying, okay, I'm uncomfortable with being who I am right now. How can I'm uncomfortable being in this position that I am. I'm uncomfortable with being the way that I'm being treated by other people. I don't like what's going on around me. I don't like that it's making me depressed. I don't like that I'm focusing a lot of energy and time on it. What do I need to do? And that's when I went and started writing down all the things, like I journaled. I wrote down all the things in me that I had issues with, like anger, unhealed traumatic experiences, just touching bases on different things that bother me and why. You know, like, why do I always want to show people love? Mm-hmm. Why do I always feel like I gotta give so much love? Why have I always been conditioned and brought up in a home that shows me how to love people but never how to love myself? Mm-hmm. And it's because I was always brought up in a home that kept me at a higher standard. So I always had to keep the image, because my grandmother is a preacher. You know what I'm saying? So they look at you like, and because my grandmother has been the woman that raised me, they look at her like my mom. So it's kind of like, you the preacher kid. And sometimes I feel like people really put me in my grandmother's shadow, because we are alike in so many ways.
Yeah.
Like, my grandmother did a great job raising me. I don't care how much of a life that I live that she doesn't agree with because of her religious beliefs. I don't care how much she doesn't agree with things that we understand that we don't agree with each other on a lot of things, but my grandmother has always been solid, bruh. And that's where I got solidness from. When I found that I am a solid person, I realized that I was giving that. My grandma was showing me how to give that to other people. Mm-hmm. She never showed me how to give that shit to myself. So that's when I had to go and be solid with myself and just be like, look, a lot of things that I'm going through could be karma experiences that I have to deal with. And I realized that a lot of my shit was because of the energy that I had put out that I was receiving back that was causing me to be depressed. Yeah. And once I identified that, I'm like, okay, so this is what I get. Even. Boom. Now what do I need to do next? The thing that I want people to understand is when you recognize your karma, like, you have to have pure intentions. You just can't be like, oh, okay, I get it, boom. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I understand it's my karma, boom, and you just go on. No, you got to remember that shit.
Yeah.
You got to remember that it happened. Because even if you forget, I mean, sometimes I forget a lot of shit too, and then when it comes back, I'll be like, damn, karma, shit. And I can't really be mad.
The good thing about that shit is, like, for us over here, like, we all spiritually connected within ourselves, so we know. But like, when shit like that happen, we able to recognize it, and we could damn near pinpoint to the situation that created that energy to come back around.
Facts.
Yeah.
Self-awareness in a way. So that's what I
think. So it's hard for us to even get mad at ourselves. It's just like, damn, I forgot. Or I just slapped myself. Or it's like, oh,
what was you thinking?
Like, I knew I signed up for it. You know what I'm saying? So.
And that's literally like what I did. And once I realized that, I was like, being held to these high standards it's been helpful in my life because I hold myself to a higher standard. And not in the way that other people do. I hold myself to a higher standard spiritually.
Yes.
I have a way of where like I'm still trying to grow, and that's why I feel like life is testing me right now, because I keep telling myself I'm going through so much shit behind the doors. Something big got to be coming for me right now, so I gotta watch how I play my cards.
Yeah.
You feel me? My chess moves are important right now through energy.
Yes.
And how I respond.
Mm-hmm.
And how I carry things.
Yeah.
And how I acknowledge things. And I have a habit to where it's like people don't really try to understand me. You feel me? Because I know so much through the healing and the process that I went through. And people will say it happened so quick. I mean, I can't help that it happened quick. I didn't put a time on it. I don't put time on anything. I'm just not going to waste time.
Yeah.
You feel me? I'm not going to put a time on it, but I'm not going to waste my time in the process of it. So I'm doing things behind closed doors that people don't even know or don't even see, that I don't talk to people about, because they're not going to get it. Yeah. That's why people don't understand, like, a lot of our trauma comes from, a lot of our depression comes from trauma, and a lot of our trauma comes from the way we react into certain situations. Everything that I do, even with protecting myself, sometimes I do it in a trauma response.
Yeah.
And I can identify when people are reacting in a trauma response.
Yeah.
You know, I can see, and when I can identify it, it's like, dang, like, we all are just alike. So how can I come to you and tell you?
But you can't really say it, because then it's like, it's almost like an attack. Because if you do it with somebody else, you know what I'm saying? Like, we recognize these things in ourselves, so it's easier for us to
identify it in other people. But when we do, it comes off as an attack, because people they don't tap into themselves like we do. They are afraid.
So we have to acknowledge it within ourselves, but not express it out in the real world.
And sometimes that's hard. That's so hard, because people just don't understand me. Like, people look at me like, you're weird. I've gotten that a lot. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like, I just found a different world. It's like an adventure. I feel like
if the word weird is like a good thing now. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not weird, if you're not weird, then you're a robot. So
right.
Like,
if you don't have no dysfunctions in you, clearly you're a robot.
Yeah, the process. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it is a process. And I feel like my journey has taught me that through everything, even with photography. A lot of people ask me all the time, like, about my music, and I tell them all the time, man, for real, because, you know, I got a band too. So it's like, I have not forgotten about it. It's just because I've found an outlet, bruh, a safe space, a place where I know, because every day I'm thinking to myself, if I'm depressed, or if I get into a mode where I'm depressed, if I get into a mode where I can't pick up the phone and call anybody, if I get down, I know that I can open up my computer and edit some pictures and turn some music on, and I'm good.
Yeah, you learn how to direct your energy, shift it.
And that's because I have so much to learn in photography, that has what's been keeping me, and I wouldn't even say keeping, but teaching me. Because people keep saying, how did you do it so fast? It's because what I focus my energy into. I don't want to be the best of the best photographer, but I want to be the best of the best me. Like, I don't want my shit. Yeah.
So
I don't want to be like, I don't want to live in the way that everybody, in that disconnect.
Yeah.
It's hard to live among people who are disconnected.
Yeah, especially because people can feel a difference in you, and a lot of time people notice the difference in you, and they just don't want to do the work. They just don't think they can be there. They think they're what they deserve to be. It could be so many different reasons, but they just take it out on you.
Yeah, And that's, I mean, I feel like in a lot of ways that's what it is, because I mean, I have numerous people, gosh, recently like just challenged me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, what the heck? And I know it's a challenge, so my response has to be conscious.
Yeah.
Because now I know, I'm aware, I can identify what's going on right now. Because wait a minute, I'm getting projection. Like, hold on, you don't see something that clearly we not on the same page.
Yeah.
You feel me? Yeah. And I've been getting tested with that. And even with every test, like, I mean, I would get so angry, and I'm gonna be real. I really don't give myself a lot of credit. So when people do, it makes me feel different, because it's like they're saying things that I want to say, and I don't want to say it, because people are going to take it as being, you thinking you better. Like, I carry my things in a humble way for a reason. I'm a very selfless person, and I know that, and that's all because of trauma. All in how I was raised. I was raised to be solid, loyal, you know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Like, I've been raised under that mentality. That's how my grandma brought me up in solidness. And because I've been so selfless, and I've allowed people, on the way here, I was listening to a song, and it made me think of something. I was like, dang, I've been so selfish to myself, being selfless to selfish people.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like,
yeah,
I've been out here fucking hurting because I've been being so selfless to people who have been doing nothing but taking from me.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to that, we just gotta put a limit on it, because it's hard.
Yeah, you have to.
It's hard.
You have to balance that shit.
It's hard to cap ourselves, because, you know, we giving people, so it's like, I don't want to stop being me, because I keep running into this. I just have to know where to put my cap at. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that way it's like I can continue to be me and still give everybody that I run into that same genuine energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's just what it's been like for me, like, because I want to be greater than what I put out. Like, when I look at my journey and how far I've come, you know, my birthday on the 7th, it's Saturday. Mm-hmm. And it's my last trip in my 20s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is gonna be my last. I'm gonna be 29, so next year, like, I'm gonna be in a 30 zone, and that right there was a step of awareness. Like, that's what I tell people. Growth is all in how you choose to do that shit. People get jealous of people's growth because they don't want to do the work. If that's why people be jealous, they jealous because they think people just got that. Nah.
Yeah. You
don't know what a person internally going through or how to go through to get what they get. You don't know what people got to go through to get what they are. Like, we don't know people's story. That's why I always try to encourage people to be humble in the way that they carry their work. Mm-hmm. You know, be humble in the way you do it. You don't have to, like, you don't need to validate. I don't need nobody to validate to me that I'm good at what I do. I know that already. Mm-hmm. If I wasn't, it wouldn't speak for itself. I have to say, I'm a person of actions, and I feel like humbleness has taught me why it's so important to live what you speak. Mm-hmm. And practice what you speak. You should take your life. The way people are attached to religion is how they should be attached to their life. Like, you should be so religious to yourself
and attached to the words that you use.
To get through your situation. And that's what my religion is myself. Like, I am the God that controls the narrative in this matrix. Yeah. How am I going to carry it? And I mean, I had to learn that. You know, everything is learning. It's all what I limited myself to be. It's not because somebody pushed me to do it. Everything that I'm doing now is all, like, I'm finally in a world where I've always been making decisions to make my family happy. It's like, people don't understand, like, I come from a family where, like, Charlottesville is so different, but it's taught me, like, here, it taught me to be grateful for home.
Yeah.
Like, for real, because
I'm from New York, so I definitely am sitting right there with you.
It's like, be grateful for where you come from, no matter how fucked up that shit is. Be grateful for it, because
not saying that where I was at was any better, but you know what I'm saying, that's what raised me for the most part.
Right. And really kind of molded me, prepared me I was prepared for the move.
Important years, yeah.
Yeah, I was prepared for the move to Charlottesville. It's just when I got here, that homesickness just kicked in. Like I don't got no friends. I don't know nobody. It's a lot of white people here. It's weird, but I fought through all of that. You know what I'm saying? I gave it a chance. I gave Charlottesville a chance, and even though my experience here has been hard, like I went through a lot, especially with the culture shock, my accent, my geechiness. People would like, I'm gonna be real. People would tease me about the way I talk, and it kind of put a speech, and like it made me feel like I wasn't talking as proper as I needed to speak. Mm-hmm. So it kind of put a speech. And it gave me the speech impediment where I couldn't really say certain words how I wanted to properly say it because I'm so used. Like I talk fast. So when I talk fast, this is when my geechee come out. And then people will be like, what did you just say? And then I have to go back and slowly say what I'm saying so that people can understand what I'm saying. Like articulating the words in a proper way.
Yeah, you can't just let it, you're not just allowed to let it flow. You have to
like versus being home, you know what I'm saying? They get what I'm saying. You feel me? And that all of that kind of made me feel different. It kind of like really made me realize like, man, like you get into a different world where you are different, and it's different.
Yeah.
It is different. Like.
Yeah, that is.
I mean,
true.
it's very different. It's the same with the conditioning mindsets are all the same.
Yeah.
But man, like, I think about it sometime. Like, if I didn't leave home, I would have never been able to learn all that I know now. I probably would still be in this world only consumed of what I limit myself to, and I probably wouldn't have limited. And that's always been something about me. I've always been the type of person to want to thrive. I've always been me versus me. It's never the next person. It's me getting me to where I see myself, where I envision myself, where I want to be. And I don't waste time doing that no more. And because I stopped wasting time, I'm even amazed at how quick, fast things are happening, but I ain't letting people know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not letting people know I'm shocked too, because shit, low-key, I'm kind of shocked. Like, this photography thing just kind of went, boom, left quick. I was like, whoa, okay.
Putting in that work.
Dang, all I'm doing is practicing.
That's a lot of time and energy put into doing that, you know what I'm saying? That's how you got to focus to manifest.
Yeah, and that's like late nights. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of hard work, a lot of hours. But on that note, we about to wrap this thing up, you know what I'm saying? It's been a nice, long, chill episode, you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all go fuck with them, you know what I'm saying? Dope Fashion. We'll drop the links down, you know what I'm saying? Y'all check it out.
Vinegar Hill.
Y'all know, you know what I'm saying? Cheno up in the building. Shout out to Nay for coming through and showing some motherfucking love on the cash, you know what I'm saying? I'm your boy TrakBeatz. Y'all already know where to find us at. You know what I'm saying? We signing out.
Depression keeps weighing me down. I don't like feeling this way. Medicine drives me all out. Why do you like playing games? Who will give me my command? Will this make everything right? Show me the way to the end, where I can find my own life. I ain't built for the shit. I ain't built for the shit. I'm created for a purpose. I ain't sacrificed for this. They all said that I'm a blessing, but I don't see it with depression. It came and took all my possession. Fighting always keeps me pressured. They all said that I'm a blessing, shackles come off complete?
Why won't my shackles come off?
Why must I be the one that you choose? And why do you always set me up to lose? Damn. Now these people think I'm crazy. Popping pills, it became lately. Had to hide from my own safety. I swear to heaven I can't take it. Suicide on my mind, but the blood dried up. I'm infected by a master that won't ever give up. I'ma fight it till